I'm going to show you something pretty amazing using a £5 note and a pencil. Okay, so you can get this from like your drawer. Now watch close. I'm going to try and fool you. Is the pencil inside or outside the bill? Those of you watching close will see that I actually didn't place it through the bill. Now you can see that I'm going to try and trick you. We'll do it a little bit more impossibly. I'll wrap the bill around the pencil and slowly melt it out. Now those magicians amongst us might not be too impressed by this, so we'll do it one more time. I'm going to show it to you in even more visual slow motion again. Do you think it's inside or outside the bill? I've done it again. It's outside, but watch. Using magic with no cover, watch what happens. If I just wave like this, that pencil melts all the way through the bill. Stick around and learn this right now in today's Tutorial Tuesday. Oh, welcome back to Tutorial Tuesday. Now I'm going to teach you that pencil through bill. Thank you to all of my subscribers. Thanks to all the newcomers. I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do so right now. And if you're feeling super generous, give the video a quick ding like. Really quickly, this isn't a very practical pencil through bill effect. This is more for social media. I'll tell you that straight up. And it does require a small amount of arts and crafts, but it's as basic as it gets, really. With that being said, I created this today in about 30 minutes, and this is why I wanted to show it to you. It's because using limited time and giving yourself a deadline is really important in the world of creating magic. Now, not always you come up with good effects. Like today's effect, I wouldn't consider it good. Straight off the bat, it's not practical, it could be way more visual, and it's not really the best performance of it either, because I didn't have much time to practice. But I wanted to show you guys that under pressure, sometimes if you're creating for TV or if you're creating to a bespoke deadline, then you have to just come up with something that meets the requirements. In this case, that's today's effect. So I'll show you the method, I'll teach you the handling super quickly, and then we'll come back and talk about it at the end. So without any further ado, let's jump straight in to how this works. Okay, so this is the gimmick. Now, this is purely for social media. I wouldn't recommend doing this in the real world. I have some other interesting methods to show you that are very practical, but I thought this was just a fun effect, a method to explore today. So you can genuinely use a pencil with no gimmick on it, but this is the secret to the method. On the back side of this bill, I have a flap with a pencil on it. And the way this works is that this is going to come into and out of view. It's that simple. So the way I did this was to print off a piece of bill, and I photocopied a pencil. So you can use any pencil that you want, just scan it in. I literally use my scanner, but you can take photographs of it. And then I cut it all to scale and glued it together. Now what you can do is just literally use another piece of bill so you have that exact size and shape and color. And then the pencil, you can just find photos of pencils if you want. You can even choose black and white lines. So like get a Photoshop image and draw a yellow line and black lines and match it up. If you don't have a scanner, it's like really easy. And then you're just gonna glue it together so they're back and front. Align it on the paper and then use some magic tape to tape it on so it flaps back and forth. Now you can put a magnet in here, you can use the elastic thread, but just for the ease of today's video, I've just glued it on like this. And it's really that easy to make. It takes like 5 minutes and you're done. The reason I don't think this is very good for the real world is because you're left with a dirty bill. Now you can make it in a way that allows it to be stolen off the bill, but it's entirely up to you. Either way, this is how the routine works. And I'm gonna show you an over the shoulder sort of look, all right? So, if I show you what I'm going to see, I begin by flashing the bill with this held up on the front side, and then I immediately turn it over. So they think they've seen the back, and now they see the front. And if I show you what happens now, I fold the bill over and bring this flap down, just like that, okay? Then I talk about how this game of they have to guess whether it's in front or behind, and what I'm doing is threading it through the bill, just like this, you can all see. And making sure that the lines line up exact, okay? So I get it all looking copacetic. And now I pinch it in the center, and it's all about this grip at this point, right? So it's very important that I grip it and not wiggle my fingers around like that and get it skewed. So I get it here, just like this. I grip it in the center and I flip it over to show the audience. From your point of view, it looks like this. So I get it into focus. So I'll start from the beginning. So I come here, I show the pencil in the bill, I turn it over. I'm now gonna get the gimmick into place and thread the pencil through the center. And what I'm seeing on my end is I'm lining everything up to make sure all the lines look good, and then pinching and doing this and pointing it straight at the audience, or at the camera in this case, okay? Now, I'm going to execute this weird move where it looks like I'm wrapping the pencil back around the bill. But the reality is the pencil is already behind the bill, and I don't want to drop this and make this shift, okay? So, keeping everything pinched tight, it's so tricky to do. I place my middle finger at the front and my thumb in between the bill, like this. And I squeeze tight here so nothing wiggles like that. And I let the back of the bill fall down, right? So I go from here. So I'll show you really, really quickly from the back side. This goes in, it all gets lined up, and I'm rushing so you can see. I flip it over so the audience can see from the front, and then I'm gonna allow this to drop back, okay? So my view is that I see it drop back, like that. And then I'm gonna regrip, like this, and roll this bill around the pencil, okay? It's really tricky to do because you're mimicking something that's not actually happening. But once you get it down, it should look like you've wrapped it around the pencil for real. And then I'm gonna pull the bill back this way. Now, I pull it with my thumb towards my right side. So my right hand thumb pulls back like that. That's because if it was really through there, you'd see it. But it's not through there. So you need to create this angle a different direction, because this hand's gonna cover it. And now you genuinely couldn't tell if it's behind or not, right? So I'm here, come through, show it in front of the bill. Now I'm gonna wrap the bill around it and kick this sideways, okay? Now, because you have this piece of pencil still showing here, you actually can flash for a moment that it looks like it's through, but you wanna cover it fairly quick. And now what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna pretend to melt it out. From the back, I'll show you everything. From the back, if I move my hand out of the way, I'm just gonna do this. And as I do it, I square the bill. Okay, so you can see that right now it's like that. I square it slowly so that the pencil doesn't flash there. Okay, so all of that from the top. I'm here. Boom, it goes through. I turn it over to show. I let it come around. And I reposition. Now, I melt it out as I square. And what I'm going to do now is reach my finger inside the bill and make sure that this flap that you can see, let me get that on camera, this flap is flush. So I can open it like that. Alright? So, at speed from the front, it looks like this. I begin here, and you can see, turn it over, fold the bill, place the pencil through, flash there, say haha or whatever you want to use that it's not there, square everything up, show, melt as I square out, then boom, phase 1. Now phase 2, I literally just fold the bill back because it's in the correct orientation to fold back like this. So I'm gonna reveal that gimmick again, boom. I'm gonna do the setup again where I place it through and make sure it's square and turn everything back to this position. Alright, so they think, again, that it's on the outside of the bill. Now, you'll notice that my hand is at the bottom corner. I need to place it up here. Because in the moment we're going to do the slow motion melt through, the visual slow motion. And what you're gonna do is as you shake back and forth, you're gonna allow your finger to move off this, and you're sort of gripping it with your thumb at the back, so your fingers are kind of pinching all of this, see? But it's above the pencil, so as you shake, you're just gonna allow that to come loose, and then use your middle finger to cover it, right? But at speed, it looks pretty cool. So if I bring it here, make sure the pencil looks like it's in the correct place, kind of, just for the video. Boom. I say watch in slow motion as it melts visually through the bill. Now at this point, I open it forward because then the gimmick side is going to be pointing towards me. So I open it forward, boom, and quickly I can flash front and back the pencil. And that's the whole routine. So you can see why that isn't so super practical for the real world, because it uses a gimmicked bill which cannot be inspected at all. Now you can adjust the bill so that you can steal off the gimmick, you can add magnets or elastic thread to make it snappier and quicker and do more visuals. But at the end of the day, there's better versions of this out there, starting off with Timothy Wenk's Misleading Misled. I have a few versions out there myself. But I think it was interesting possibly for you guys to see the method that I used and think that how could you apply it in other areas, or how could you take that effect and use it in other ways. So instead of the classic methods for this, where people have a gimmicked pencil or a hole in the bill, then by using something slightly different, then you can be in a more interesting area. For example, in this case, I used the one piece of magic methodology which I hate the most, which is a flap. But by using a flap for a penetration, as opposed to color changes, because everyone just uses them to color change a pack of sweets or a playing card, by using it for a penetration effect, then it takes it into a slightly more interesting area. I'm not claiming to be the first that I've used a flap for penetration effects either. That sounds wrong. But you can see where my thinking is going. So it's also interesting taking something real like a pencil and photocopying it and making it onto a piece of paper, because you can do a lot of interesting things when you take objects and make them, when you replicate them in different materials. So that's today's Tutorial Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday with another live performance video of an effect that actually goes wrong. And it's a really cool one. I perform it to Kaylee. It's an effect idea, concept that I had that didn't work. And we go through why it didn't work. But basically, I'll give you a heads up. It's a psych force, and I think you'll all really enjoy it. So come back on Thursday and come back on Sunday for the live Sunday session. I was going to say Sunday special, for a special Sunday session live from Blackpool. And give me a roll call down in the comments. Who am I going to see at Blackpool? Come up, give me a high five. Come and see me with Bo Kremer. We have some swag from Murphy's to hand out. It's going to be the best Blackpool of all time. Cannot wait to see you all there. Please do so. If you haven't, again, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. But without any further ado, I was muffled, but without furry food, without any further ado, I'll see you guys on Thursday.